So we'll just stand around then. Antecedent. You come to us straight from the archives of House Forton. Now, I trust your time there proved fruitful. Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to Ishgardian faith. Yet, in the eyes of Rookery's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I googled the living crap out of it. I very much doubt we'll find a useful answer in the archives of House Forton. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, but though, in this case, one wonders if it's circumstances or design. You said that Rookery took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? I think so, yeah. Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to the endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until sappers confirm that the tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I expected, Sir Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant that, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Halone that your ancestors came to this land? Why, they took up arms against the Dervanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a reunification of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live life in service of the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time. Nay, a different era. The scriptures tell us only so much. Would that it told us more. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure, less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Rookery's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mughal XII, ever honored be his name, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Mughals' god. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts, at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith on a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have both of them in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded the preliminary analysis of the aetherite Rookery used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another aetherite, somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second aetherite, however, they have wholly been unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Rookery has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume that she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route. Most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet, or one of our colleagues in Charlayan may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire solar system. I mean we. Obviously, I'm going to help just as much. I'll stand here, you look around. While Minfilia looks for our aetherite problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Querthos is vast. The Ice Heart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve and to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Rookery's followers, the sooner we can press the Berg fam for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I never ever make those. By the way, did I mention I'm in charge of the Crystal Braves? I feel that the Braves that I am in charge of would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you are not aware. Good. Now, I knew you would understand. Yu Yuasi can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments of his investigation. Plus, I don't know how to dress for the weather, so I should probably get inside. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is, like, way more important. So Minfilia can put on a coat, but Alphino cannot. What's going on? An archivist here in the chat. We're having a podcast with the Eorzean Archives tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. There you are, Meteor. Commander Levelier instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. From the third, hail from Uldar, and for a man accustomed to feel the sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand. Nary a moment ago, I received word that the heretics we speak with have been spotted making for Danafin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. I think if there were a leader that just stood around while people did things, that would be dreadful. Little dig at Alphino there, huh? Maybe I'm reading the subtext there, but you know. Danafin Pass. Right here. Hey, buddy. Watch out for that chinchilla. Balls! Balls! My ankle is on fire! Caught my boot on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went on up ahead through Danafin Pass. Hurry up, you might catch up. If you aren't sure what to do, look for tracks. This snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. No, it won't bonk you if you put a link in chat to Eorzean Archives. They mostly stream on YouTube, but the shoutout command naturally feeds to Twitch. It's not very good at recognizing that people stream in more than one place. Alright. While we look for tracks here, I'm gonna need to go let my dog back in. I don't know if you guys can even hear his doorbell in the background. I've been adjusting mic settings so much over the last couple weeks that it's hard to say. Ah, there's Fresh Prince. Okay. Consider uglier link. You can change that. You can make it channel slash like Eorzean Archives. So you can change that. It's somewhere in your settings. All right, be right back. Here, like if I do mine, I think it hasn't. Like the gaming lore kind of one's fixed, but the newest channel for WoW is not. So, gaming lore kind of is fixed though. So hopefully that helps. You can see I've got it set up on some channels and not on others. All right. Anybody a fan of Fresh Prince? Let's do it. You need a certain amount of subs on YouTube. Oh, maybe that's why I didn't have it set up on the smaller channels. That might explain why I've done it sometimes and not others. Scion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great scaled beast, and Yu Hasi, I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. I think this is a bad idea. Hey, buddy. It is definitely a bad idea. I think we're like only like 4 or 5 quests away from the end of the expansion, but because of the amount of like travel and cutscenes and talking, we could end up running a little longer than I was originally trying to pace to end it like at exactly 5, but I think we're gonna blow right through. How embarrassing! I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in his gut for troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching for the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest, and lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late, and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They cannot possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. Alright. Turn off tank stance, because that's distracting. Oh, it's only 100 subs. Okay. Then there's 2.5 left. Yes. We're going to do Crystal Tower tomorrow. And 2.5 and Binding Coils will be on the next Final Fantasy Lore Week. Final Fantasy Lore Weeks are every other week. Oh, it's my gauge that's causing that. How do I clear that? It's so distracting. I'm through listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those bluecoats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Well, stay within then, if you think you'll fare any better. No, there's no need for that. Uh-oh. There are places like this in my homeland. Sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your lands ever thirst for blood in the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I've done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all! Oh my. Fancy meeting you here, Meteor. I presume your work for the Third has brought you hither? What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, and it seems like our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Rookery. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yuguri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Elfino is too kind. I fear my people, and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence to this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills. Skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. Skills which are only normally held by adventurers named Liam. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. That is a most generous offer, Lady Yuguri, one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, Meteor. Let us wait inside for Captain Ilbert to return and deliver his report. Alright. Captain Ilbert seems confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. You and I are equally busy. It's not like I'm just standing around while you adventure. Obviously. I would never imply such a thing. Captain Ilberd, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with the regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us naught when he did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquire their information on the shipping routes. Go on. You will recall the Flames first identified as being Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail became an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a Flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with the benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the deeds of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fortan. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed knowingly, aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved, at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider that, then our investigation is known to barely a handful of them. The field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is running among Rauben's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames' establishment? 'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Uldar's was ever the more vulnerable to the infiltration. Both Limsa and Gridania have had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people. Loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Uldar's military was made up of a disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raubon faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained a small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every single passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. When I said earlier who could believe that somebody would make it that far, I meant somebody more simple-minded than us. Obviously, I knew how easy it would be. A good deal easier now than now, eh? The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, 'twas not out of charity that they did, but simple self-preservation. Had Nail Vandanis' ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they never would have risked supplying Raubon with an army. 'Tis but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Now, returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Domineer allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join, the fourth inspecting the crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If you see something, say something. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to other primals, the heretics will be looking out for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Aymeric informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully, the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been develops in Garlemald, it would seem. In case you don't know, I'm a leader now. I'm like a super big deal. As commander of the Crystal Braves. I started the Crystal Braves. My presence has, of course, been requested. I would have you accompany me, Meteor, as the realm's stoutest champion. 'Tis only meet that you present for discussion, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. How many times do you think he tells us that he's in charge of the Crystal Braves? Just in case we don't know. Mind you. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Rookery, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she shall remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nafika's altar, and we shall make our way to Lotus Stand together.